For a lot of you know my background, I grew up in Tempe, Arizona, went to McClintock High School. But I think the biggest thing I wanted to do, just to encourage you and talk to you about, is growing up as a youth, playing flag football, and the youth football growing up, was the coaches and the administrators and the people I had with the teams getting me to that next level. And I work with a lot of quarterbacks around the Valley of the Sun, whether they're 6th grade to college to pro. And the greatest thing that I come across is that the training and the teaching that they get at a young level helps to inspire them to move on to high school and then on to college. And what I wanted to do is just to say, don't ever think that what you're doing is not important for these young men or young boys who can become young men and move on to that next level. And I know a lot of you here in this room I've come across with you and some of the things that I've done. It's so vitally important to just continue to encourage them and to continue to move them on, and more so with their grades in order for them to play. I was 5'4", 115 pounds as a freshman in high school. I was third string growing up, and eventually with the coaches I had kept encouraging me to work, no matter how bad they were or how good they were. The ones that were good, that weren't getting that proper encouragement and training, I went beyond them. And I just want you to tell you that you make a huge impact on those young boys and those young girls, the cheerleaders that are out there, more so than you think. Because I come across them when I train them individually, and they see how I see that grow. So I just want to encourage you, just let you know what you're doing speaks volumes into their life, whether you think you're making a difference or not. Because I went from 5'4" to 6'2", eventually got that opportunity to play in the National Football League, and I made it. So I just want to encourage you, I just wanted just to say, with all the time and effort and energy you're putting into it, it'll come back twofold. Because I see these kids I've been working with the last 6 or 7 years that are graduating and going to Weber State, they're going to Fort Lewis, they're going to Texas. All these kids I see, whether they made it or not, that I've gone through, they have succeeded. And it's because of people like you. So I really believe, just keep that to heart when you're out there those long practices, you get those calls from those parents, you get all that going on in the background, all that chatter and all that noise. Let me tell you something, it's worth it. And I commend each and every one of you for what you're doing, because I came up through the system, and if there's one thing I remember, I can remember to this day, some of those practices we had, the good ones and bad ones, but the thing that got me through were those coaches, those administrators that helped me get me off the ground so I could go back in the huddle and throw the next pass. So don't ever think what you're doing is not important. It may not be important monetarily wise, but it truly is important to those lives of those young men, because that legacy is going to continue. Best of luck to each and every one of you. Congratulations, and thank you for allowing us to present. Have a good afternoon.
Dan, much appreciated. Dan Minucci, give him a hand. Thanks. So the first one is going to be Wet and Wild.